3 mindset shifts that might help you make more money and run a better business. The first one is you must realize that you're tired in the beginning, but you have energy at the end. A lot of y'all ask me or comment, Zach, I'm just starting out. It's hard. I'm not getting enough callers, or I'm not getting the money that I want, or they're not calling me back. It's really hard in the beginning. Of course it is, or else everybody would have a business and nobody would want to work and do anything, right? It's hard in the beginning to get customers, but the more customers you have, paradoxically, the easier it is to get more customers, and also the easier it is to get higher prices. It's easier to get a higher priced, well quality customer if you have a bunch of reviews that they saw first versus if you're brand new. That's obvious. And there's no other way around it besides you just have to make yourself stand out and just somehow get a couple of yards under your belt, and then from there you could grow. It just takes a couple to just start getting seen in your neighborhood. Trust me. A big tree starts from a little seed, right? These big ass trees right here were just little seeds, right? All you need is 1 yard to do it right, and then the confidence that you'll get from that yard is worth so much more than the money that you'll get from that 1 yard. The confidence that you'll get from that yard is worth millions and millions of infinitely more dollars than just the 30, 40, or even if you do it for free, because I've done stuff for free to learn new services in the past. Another tip for you. But that's the first mind shift, is that you are tired in the beginning, but you're energized after. When I do my work days, for these $500 work days, I don't have like a bunch of energy in the beginning of the day. I'm kind of overthinking. I'm like, oh man, this could go wrong. I have a lot of yards today. It's going to be hot, or it might be wet, or I got to do all these yards and I got quotes. These are all blessings, right? But it's a lot on my palate, and it's just weighing on my mind. And as I get through the day, I kind of get more energy the more I'm able to sift through it, and the more I start seeing the payments coming in, I'm able to transfer the money around. I'm just having fun. I'm getting closer to the end of my day. Now my day is over. I'm driving home to see my wife and my baby. I get to see my family. I get to shower. I get to eat some good ass food. Like, I'm getting energized towards the end of my day. It's kind of funny, even though I should be more tired, right? I just did 10 yards. Like today, I just did 10 yards again, but I kind of have more energy, and I'm filming a video right now, and it's whatever that says, 6 o'clock, right? It's funny how I have more energy now versus a lot of these things in the world is backwards, right? You have energy at the end, just like you, like right now with my business, right? In the beginning, I'm just like, how do I even do 1 yard? After I got my first yard, I'm just like, it's just another problem after another thing. Another tip is that business, like a good business, is just a bunch of problems and failures combined into a person who didn't give up. Like, I made every mistake that you can make on a yard. That's why people call me, because I don't make those mistakes no more. And if they call a beginner who's charging less, they're going to go through those same mistakes all over again, right? So people will pay you for your expertise, but you must realize that that comes with having skin in the game, and there's no solution around. I mean, there's no shortcut around that. The only solution is just to go work, right? Work makes it work. It's funny. So that's the first mindset shift, is that you have energy at the end. Just like right now, I'm filming videos talking about my business. I'm having fun, even though I should be more tired because I've worked a lot harder. Like, it's funner because I'm thinking more, and it's growing and glowing, and you'll do the same too. It's just, you have energy. Think about it like that. You have energy the more you work. You don't just gain energy and then you start working. Your work creates your energy. Like, if you don't have the energy to go work out, you don't just sit there and just think, man, I hope I have the energy to work out. If you go and work out, your state will be raised, and then you'll feel better to go move on to do the next thing, like film a video, right? If I didn't work out this morning, I don't know if I filmed this video, because my state wouldn't be so good. I'm just talking a lot. That's the first thing, is you must realize that you have energy at the end and you're tired in the beginning. When you start your business, at the end of your business, when you start your work day at the end of your workday, think about it kind of inversely. Think outside the box. You must do the opposite of what the majority is doing and saying, if you want to have results that are different than the majority, right? So that's number one. Number two is realize that if you don't like how a customer is talking to you, or they're being rude, or if the estimate's weird and they're being sketchy and they omitted information, they didn't tell you about how overgrown the yard was, or they did and tried to hide, they're trying to like undersell it, like it would take me 40 minutes to do it, and I would charge me this. Like, they're trying to do the work for you. Like, that's not a good look. And you can do these jobs, you could throw high prices, right? But at the same time, I don't think any amount of money is worth dealing with a shady customer who's like playing with your sanity, right? Even if you get the money from, and it's just a messy yard with a messy mental plate. Like, you could do that if you want. There's a time and place for it. But just realize, like, my tip number two is, don't ever feel like you're pressured into anything. If you're on a job and you underbidded it, that's fine. You learn from that underbidded, and then you don't underbid again the next time. I've done it too, and so has everybody else, whether they admit it or not. So it's okay to make boo-boos. And if you're ever on a job and you feel like you underpriced it, just get over the job. Maybe you could tell the customer, like, you could work out an agreement if it's like a obnoxiously, absurdly underpriced. But for the most part, just finish it and just don't make that same boo-boo again. And then boom, you're a better business owner, and now your prices have adjusted and everything works itself out, right? So number 2 is realize that you could walk away if you see red flags on a customer. All the worst mistakes in my business, dealing with bad customers, in hindsight, I should have avoided the red flags, but I just thought the 50-60 bucks was worth it. It wasn't. Every single time it wasn't worth it. So that's just my opinion, right? So that's tip number 2, is to realize that I forgot what I was going to say. Tip number 3 is you must realize that if you want to take some pressure off of you too, you could also set a prayer, not for you to just make money. Because me, when I was younger, I would just say, God, please let me get business and make money. And that was it. And I thought that was the culmination of what my intellect could come up with a prayer at my age of being in my 20s. Was like, God, please let me have success, because that's what I wanted. But another tip that you can do, and this is tip number 3, is you could pray that your customers are happy with your jobs and that you get through your job properly and you don't get hurt and everybody's fine when you get home. Like, you could take the pressure off of you. It's a lot bigger than you. It's better to be selfless, I believe. It's way better to have a kid than to not have a kid. I like making her smile more than me smile, right? It's better to be selfless. Like, you could pray for these customers to be happy, and you'd be surprised how the money just works itself out, and you get tips on top of tips if you're doing it right, versus just saying, let me make money. Like, why don't you have a better intention? The difference between might and mighty is the why, right? If you might do it, and the mighty who do it is the why, right? Get it? No pun intended. The why, might, mighty, why. Your why, W-H-Y, the letter Y. So those are my 3 tips. I'm going to go eat my panda. Tip number 1 was you have energy at the end. You're tired in the beginning. Tip number 2 is you're never forced into anything. If you put yourself on a bad situation, just see yourself out and it's fine. Goodbye is a good bye for a reason. There's good things that happen when you say bye to bad situations, right? And damn, this car is about to hit me. And tip number 3 is you could pray out for things bigger than you. And I think you'll get, just like when I wanted toys when I was a kid, I'd ask my dad for presents or toys or take me to the skate park. I would ask, he would listen, and I got what I wanted. And just like, if God is your father, like he is for me, if you ask him for stuff, he'll give it to you. There's only like 3 things I ever asked for God, and I'll share them with you. The first was my mom had a tumor on her optic nerve when I was like 14. I asked God, please let her be okay. And then she was okay. She had a surgery, and they cut her open and she was good. 2 surgeries, different story, different day. The second wish was I would hope that my wife would be able to come to America and please get this green card if nothing goes wrong. When they're just going through all my paperwork of all my entire life, all my income, all my taxes, like all my background stuff, just to see if I can sponsor her to be my wife. And she wasn't even able to visit the whole time we did this process. I was in Costa Rica spending all my money, going back and forth. I just asked God, please let her be able to come over here. And then God gave me that too. So I'm 2 for 2. And then the third one was, as soon as she got the green card, we had a baby too. I didn't even want a baby. I mean, I didn't ask for a baby. I didn't even know I could have a baby, but I always wanted a baby. Then when we got the baby, the green card was happening. So my wife had to fly 6 months pregnant. And then the last thing I asked for God was, please let my baby be born healthily, because after my wife got here, my wife had a 10-centimeter cyst that grew inside of her umbilical cord at the last minute that made her have an emergency last-minute C-section 1 week early while we were just doing like a regular ultrasound. They said that tumor's growing, the baby's not moving, we're poking it. They're like telling my wife to roll over, and like the baby's not moving and stuff while they're trying to do the ultrasound. So they had to do we were going to go to Chick-fil-A and go to Goodwill that day for my wife. I was going to take her, that's her favorite things. Not Chick-fil-A. I was going to go take her to get Church's Chicken and go to Goodwill because those are her favorite things. They told us we had to do a freaking birth right there. So I just exposed I was going to give my pregnant wife Church's. It's good chicken. But I asked for God, please let my wife be have a healthy birth and let my baby come out healthy, and God gave me that too. So I mean, you could ask God for anything. I think he might give it to you, but just be selective and be very intentional, and also be careful what you wish for, because you can get that too, and it might not be what you expect. So just think about it. I'm not telling you what to wish for. I'm telling you just to think. And when you ask, all this money that I made, because you're watching this channel, is because I asked my customer. I didn't ask. I gave them a quote, and then like all from these words came this business and this YouTube channel and everything. So there's power in words, and if you're praying, it's still vibrating, and it's somehow, there's always a cause and effect, right? I'm just telling you, that's it. Okay, those are my 3 tips. I'm gonna go eat this food. Peace.